Hello, Renee Flamond here. You guys, grudge holding, and I think of it as useless, is a very good take on the last two off-topic Fridays. Although today has a lot to do with the narcissist. It really, really does. Because again, it's hard to talk about fighting and not talk about the narcissist. Because that's what we normally discuss. Grudge holding is a natural takeoff. I think 2 Fridays ago was how you fight. And then last Friday, I think it was winning or having peace. Grudge holding is a natural next step. This has to be one of the silliest traits I have witnessed, and it makes 0 sense to me. 0 sense to me. I've seen families battle in their final years and leave the earth not speaking to each other, and neither one knows why. They don't even remember. And I'd like to mention, by the way, because we normally do discuss narcissism and no contact, this is not the same thing as no contact. And I will tell you why. Because that is the most effective way to deal with a narcissist. And how is that different? And because I thought about this for a long time. I have a peripheral narcissist hold many grudges that I know, that they hold many, many grudges against me. I've gone no contact with that same peripheral narcissist many times, and they may view it as a grudge. Now, some might say, who's to say? What reasons are good for no contact, and what reasons are valid reasons for someone to hold a grudge? The narcissist thinks they are right always. So if they're the ones holding the grudge, which I have found is very, very often the case, they feel validated, solid in their position. So honestly, the truth of who is even in the right never even comes into play when it's with a narcissist. Their version is the truth. Period. Now, you could have very valid reasons for going no contact, but the grudge, there's no validity to a grudge. It's a move. It's a move they make. And no contact is self-preservation. In fact, again, the disordered may even view your decision to have no contact as a grudge to them because they want to see it in a negative light. We know our truth. We know the difference is in the reasons for both. They will never understand that. So if you ever hear that or that comes up, they'll never understand anything that we talk about. But anyway, if a narcissist is holding a grudge, they will not budge in a way that they think that proves their point, which was no point at all, based on a lie, something they invented, a truth that they twisted, because it goes hand in hand with the kind of personality that would hold a grudge. You see something so bad with this person that you just cut them off. We all know people that stop talking for the silliest reasons. That tells me that that person was just looking for a reason to cut that person off. That that person bothered the first person and they were just looking for a reason. When it's that dumb of a thing, come on. Think about people you love, people love you that you don't have a thing with. Think about what it would take for you to stop talking to them. And then think of the silly things that you've seen people stop talking to each other over. There's no weight to that kind of relationship. The grudge holder is the hater, the person that can't stand the other one, for whatever reason. Because to hold a grudge and just stop talking to somebody, that's a hateful move. And who knows why and whatever, but they will not budge. And it really is a narcissist's go-to move. We all know someone like this. I'm fascinated people don't catch on. Well, they don't, because the narcissist is grandiose with everybody else. But to the person they constantly pick on, we really see the pattern. It's so clear to you if you're the victim of that. And I mean, I see it. I see it so clearly. It's fight, lie, grudge, rinse, repeat. And allow that turmoil among If you allow that turmoil to get into you, it can be a very toxic thing, and then they're doing exactly what they're trying to do to you by holding the grudge. Do you know what I mean? Allow that turmoil they feel, as is obvious from the grudge, to be theirs alone. It's a useless tool. They think they're so right. It only reflects the person that's holding the grudge as having ill behavior, and does not mean that their foundation still isn't a lie. It is. Their foundation's a lie, yet they'll hold the grudge anyway. And they'll tell everybody they have a reason for taking this stance. They went a certain way, this toxic person. Now they can't budge. They want to win. We talked about that last week. Their goal is not peace. It's not peace. Their goal is to win. They feel staying in this position shows that they're righteous. I'm not budging, which is so twisted to me, because to me that shows dysfunction and non-communication. They think it shows that they're right. They think it's proof that they're right. To them, holding this grudge proves that they're telling the truth. People who tell the truth don't feel the need to create evidence to them telling the truth. They just tell it. A person who holds a grudge, narcissist or not, that's someone who values nothing more than looking like they come out ahead. They don't value the relationship in which they're holding the grudge. They don't value the truth. They don't value the peace of the community around you, because if it's someone in your circle, that causes dissension, right? Everybody knows these two don't get along, and this person's but everyone sees it as just, oh, they just fight, and nobody understands your point of view, and nobody sees that you have actually valid stuff, and they just see it as people can't get along. The narcissist loves all of that, and they're going to hold the grudge, and they're going to make it uncomfortable for everybody, because they don't value the peace of the community. They don't value the relationship. They don't value the truth. And I guess they don't value themselves enough to try to talk it out with a person. You can't replace relationships of 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 30 years. I've seen people just stop their lives and not talk over the dumbest things. And I think it's so sad. And I think nothing was more important to you than holding your point. Nothing? Not even this person's death? You couldn't go make up. You couldn't swallow it and go make peace. Now, I'm not saying that maybe there are times that people do part ways, and it's not your duty to go make peace if you've done no contact or you've both agreed this is not a healthy situation. I'm not saying it's their obligation to make peace. So I guess that's not really a good example. But a grudge holder will not budge in the face of everything. It could be easier if everybody got along. They don't care. They got a grudge against you, they're going to hold it in the face of everybody. It's kind of like, I guess it's a twisted thing to me, because I don't do that. And so I don't understand it, and what it gains you, and how it benefits you. I find their mixed sense of priorities to be deplorable. So your priority is to win. You're holding a grudge. I've seen somebody, the person I have in mind, has not only done it several times they've done it several times to many people. It's their go-to move. So in 2 seconds flat, you're ready, based on anything anybody does to you, you're ready to cut them off. That's what you show me about your personality. And then they go through life telling everybody, oh, you know, I would never turn my back on you. You're my best friend. I love you. But to certain people, they're holding grudges. So which is your personality then? The peacemaker or the person who wants to win? Because you pretend like but you're the person that wants to win. I think it's a really, really, really ugly thing to have any relationship in your life take a back seat to winning. Everything takes a back seat to winning. winning is their everything. And again, I don't understand it. And to talk about their mixed sense of priorities, what I mean is I've seen people sit smugly alone on their island with all the people they ruined or betrayed or whatever over there, but smugly they sit and go, well, I showed them. Alone. As they age. But you showed them, yay, as you sit and age alone. And I think that is very sad. Because I think when people get upwards around 85, 80, they start to look back and think, who's in my life right now that's been in my life? Did I make the right moves? Did I make the right choices? And they say they never learn, but I'd like to think the grudge holders will someday regret them. Because you never know who's going to be here and who's not. I think a lot of times grudge holders think they have more time. I've seen grudge holders have to regret not going and saying goodbye to somebody in time. I've seen that. It's heartbreaking. They can't forgive themselves. They didn't know they were going to die, right? It's just such a useless thing. And to have that attitude, well, I showed them, and not look around and see that you're not surrounded by any of them, which are the people that you should really have around you. And you're never seeing that your own behavior has created rifts between so many. You don't see you're the common denominator with all this grudge holding, which is ugly, hateful behavior. And just existing in the alienation of themselves and just sitting and thinking they're right and that they win, I don't get that dysfunction. So that's what you wanted? Okay. You showed everybody. Meanwhile, everyone else is happy, going along in life, laughing, communicating, having healthy relationships. But you showed them as you sit there alone. And many times narcissists end up alone. People figure them out. They see their dysfunction in one way or the other. The narcissist turns on them. There's a lot of things that can make a narcissist end up alone. They betray someone one too many times. There's a million ways. And as they sit there alone, I wonder what their life is going to be like later. I give that thought. And I just cannot believe somebody would choose being right, especially when they've got to know deep down inside that's even based on a lie. So they can't even come around the corner without admitting it, but come around the corner and say, why don't we try a way to bury the hatchet? Or why don't we try? No, I know people with 50-year grudges. 50 years. And I've asked them, oh, they don't remember. 30-year grudges, don't remember. 20, doesn't remember. It's a serious thing, and it's very thick-headed. It's a thick-headed way to be. You're not open-minded to even talking to the other person. I can't imagine one person in my life right now, because generally it's people that are close. It was an intense thing, and now there's a grudge. It could be sisters, brothers, cousins, whatever. I could never imagine one person in my life that I love in my circle that I would cut off for anything. Because I know anything that would ever happen from any of the people that I love isn't intentional. There wouldn't be a reason. Grudge holding people, they fashion some kind of direct attack on them. They take the slightest little thing and it was an attack on them and they're going to grudge hold. It's brutish. Relationships of years and years, you can never replace. Yet some who do this grudge holding think that they're righteous in holding out to make some point. It's just another sad trait about dysfunctional people. And oftentimes I laugh because the holding out in a grudge to me, that's not righteous behavior. And it, in fact, denigrates many basic principles which are, indeed, righteous behaviors. decent communication, mutual respect, anything like this, right? They want to win. That's the goal of the person that holds the grudge. And if you know someone and you've tried to reach out to them and you're getting frustrated, they're not going to budge, but they will after a billion attempts from you. They want to see you scramble. The narcissist is famous for that. When they do their little mini grudges with their little mini silent treatments, they love to see you keep trying to come back and talk to them and make them talk, even if they're shooing you away. Grudge holders, the same thing. They want to see you scramble, make all kinds of effort. They're going to keep saying no, keep saying no. They're going to be hard to convince. And anytime I've broken somebody down and broken down their grudge, it took 1,000,000 hours of man hours on my part to do it. And it's always me. Hands down, always me. Everyone says it, it's always me. I do the reaching out. I do the repair, even though I'm the injured party, every single time. And then they will use something that happens in that fight as them being the injured party. But we talked about incident zero before. The narcissist is always incident zero. They inflict harm on people, there's a fight ensues, and then boom. Or any kind of grudge holder that can go in that direction. To me, that's some kind of toxic trait. I don't get that. And again, it's not the same. If somebody says, well, somebody's that mean to you over and over again, you can't talk to them anymore. Well, then that's no contact. You've made a self-preservation decision. A grudge hold is not that. And we all know the people I mean. They're holding a grudge. It's the word grudge. It's that sharp word for a reason. It's not no contact. I'm trying to preserve my own worth and not let this person abuse me anymore. That's not what a grudge is. They're inflicting harm on you. It's a move to prove that they're right and to win what's going on. Don't indulge it. Don't indulge people like that. Turn it around. If you get wind, somebody's holding a grudge on you, make it no contact, and then you're never going to attempt it. And if they attempt, you're not going to respond. It's such a useless emotion, and I think it really comes from a place of a lot of hate. A lot of hate. Whether they hate themselves, whether they hate you, but it's really an ugly emotion. And I think it represents a lot of deep-seated reasons other than what they may tout as the reason. If you hold a grudge against somebody, I can't imagine what somebody would have to do for me to just say, no, I'm never talking to them again. I can't imagine that. But anyway, if you know somebody like that, stay clear of them. I don't like to see people get involved with people like this because they love it and they'll just bring it back to you, and it'll be an ongoing fight as long as it's another way that you should just disengage. I can't stand a grudge holder. I think it's useless. I think it's immature. I think it's holding your breath like a 4-year-old. I think it exhibits all of these qualities and more loathsome ones about the holder of the grudge, not the subject against whom they're holding the grudge. Again, just like smearing. I don't think it says anything about the subject against whom they're holding the grudge. I think it says a lot about the grudge holder. So you hate that person that much that that's it. You'll never talk to them again? Ever? I know there's nobody. I would be on their doorstep every single day till we resolved it. Like anybody that I'm thinking of, if there was a fight or disagreement, I would never cut somebody off. So it's their dysfunction. Don't allow them to make it think it's you. And you know what? They think they're winning, bless their hearts. It's their dysfunction. It's just another sad trait about dysfunctional people. I just wanted to mention it. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you Monday.